I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Thursday, August 22nd, 2022. It is the day of the Hearthkeeper and the Tradesman. It is Jupiter's Day, Thor's Day, the 1st of Virgo, the 18th of Hazel, the 1st of Bear, and the 26th of Hayanir, which is the haymaking month. So we have had a shift in the zodiac. We are now officially in Virgo season. It runs from August 23rd to, September 21st, approximately. It really depends upon when we hit that equinox point. Virgo is a mutable sign. Its ruling planet is Mercury. Its element of earth is, of course, its natural house is the 6th house, and its symbol is, of course, the virgin or the maiden. Now, I really liked, the information we got from the numerologist that was, of course, found on Pinterest. It says, as an earth sign, Virgo is rooted here on Earth, on the Earth plane. It is one of the master manifestors of the zodiac. It holds practical, efficient energy that is materialistic in all the best ways. At its core, it brings such cohesion and clarity into your life. And then, of course, if you find them on Pinterest, it'll take you to a longer article which talks all about how you can make better use of this Virgo energy. And then I found another, meme from this one is from Spirit Daughter on Pinterest. You can see the symbol for Virgo. The archetype is the goddess, specifically the maiden form of the overarching goddess. Again, earth element, crystals, smoky quartz, colors, the colors we see in the season, including very dark greens, tans, rust, as we're starting to fade into autumn glory. She associates it with the rectangle shape, the rosemary, ruling planet Mercury, of course, and the flower is the chrysanthemum, which, of course, this is always the time of year when suddenly they bring these gorgeous chrysanthemums into gigantic pots onto their front porches. So Virgo season, we are leaving summer behind. I don't really fully get into the autumn vibe until September itself. But we are moving very much in that direction. It is all about the doing. It's about the organizing, getting all your ducks in the row. This is the time to clean out your closet. This is the time to start bringing in the winter clothes. You don't need them right this second, but you will have them available and they'll be ready to go when you do. And of course, if you're living up further north, you might already be feeling a little bit of a Christmas in the air, even though, we are still in August. But, if you're upways to Minnesota or, Montana or Canada or something like that, you might already be beginning to feel it. And so there is a limited time. And that's one of the beautiful things about Virgo, having just this air of efficiency, because we're not just going to do this thing. We're not just going to be organized. We're not just going to have a list. We are going to attack it in a systematic fashion that makes the best possible use of time. So even if you don't have any Virgo placements yourself that are prominent in your chart, you can still tap into this energy. And if you struggle with organization and none of this comes naturally to you, I really, really recommend trying to tune into this energy, let it leach into your system, because even though, you might not be, attacking things like a general the way someone else would, you might still be able to see improvements in your own ability to cross off things on the to-do list, get ready for autumn, and make sure that you do have your ducks in the row, because we are entering into that downward part of the year to where everything is just bam, 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 lots of holidays, lots of big events, lots of things to do, and you don't want to go in there feeling all kinds of crazed and chaotic. If ever there's a time to really prioritize order, it is during this season. And now let's look at the more Native American side of the lollipop. We have the bear season, which runs from August 22nd to August 21st, but it usually does coincide with Virgo, so I just kind of lumped them together because, well, that just made sense. It is tied with the earth element. Its color is brown, so think kind of grizzly bear brown. And the stone for this particular totem is the topaz. And we have a good description for this, which comes from, I think it's Kokopelli.nh.com. And then it says, though independent, bears work best with routines and oftentimes resist change. That also sounds like a Virgo to me. Practical with an eye for detail, those born under this sign make great workers, though they are humble almost to a fault. Their hard work and good ideas may go unnoticed if they do not learn to praise themselves occasionally. Have you ever tried to give a Virgo a compliment? I tell you what, that is a task of lengthy diligence, because they don't want to believe it. Oh no, And, the modesty, it's very cute. It's very sweet. But, I've also noticed with a lot of the Virgos I've met over the years is that they do tend to have sometimes very negative self talk. They're tearing themselves down. So they do need to be built up. They do need to have outside recognition that they are doing good and they are valued and that what they are doing really matters. But getting them to accept it, gosh, it can be a chore. It's one we should take on. And, if you have Virgos in your life, I hope you sincerely love and appreciate them just for who they are and what they are. But it is hard work. So if you are a Virgo listening to this, um, I would just like to assure you that when we are paying you compliments, we meant it. We really did. We're not just teasing you. And I don't know how to help you believe that the first time, but please try. But it goes on in the description. Bears' fondness for familiarity makes them loyal partners and friends, so they may come across as cold and aloof to some. This is only because their independence makes bears slow to show their emotions and not because of a lack of feelings. True diamonds in the rough. Once you see past bears' humble exteriors and reserved natures, you will uncover invaluable employees and lifelong friends. How true that is. And then we have a little bit more symbolism associated with the bear. Stands for energy, confidence, self-healing, peace, understanding, and resurrection. And then as a spirit animal, if you are working with this totem, particularly over a period of time, it represents strength, truthfulness, compassion, and the determination to overcome all hurdles. And if bears are starting to appear in your dreams, which they might because we are now in the season, it either represents your dominant traits such as positivity or it reflects your wish for freedom. So that's a little something for you to analyze. And hopefully all of these little cheat sheets, they help give you a sense for just kind of the essence of the Virgo season and the essence of the Bear season, and just how correlated and how similar they really are to one another. So let's go on to our main part of astrology. The sun begins the day in Leo, fixed fire, representing achievement. And then at 9:55 a.m. Central Time, we say goodbye to Leo and we say hello to Virgo, mutable earth sign, and it represents industry. Let's work. Let's get things done. That is a Virgo for you. And then the moon is in third quarter Aries, cardinal fire, representing assertiveness. Mercury continues to retrograde in Leo, fixed fire, representing fragile relationships. Venus is in Virgo, mutable earth, representing perfectionism. Mars is in Gemini, mutable air, representing pugnaciousness. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, which is about questing. Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is to redefine dreams. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing renovation. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is about spiritual awakening. And Pluto is retrograding in Aquarius, fixed air, which means that we need to examine intentions. And just the real quick reminders for those retrogrades: for Mercury, reevaluate communication patterns. For Saturn, reclaim your authority. For Neptune, reclaim faith, joy, magic, and imagination. For Pluto, reclaim your ability to regenerate. And for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. Remember, the moon is in the waning gibbous phase, which is about absorbing revelations. And as we have gone into Virgo season, you might find yourself not just absorbing the revelations, but you might be starting to make practical applications of those lessons, particularly if this involves weeding out things that, you just don't need in your life anymore. Energies that need to be pushed away from you. You might find that to be you might find yourself really leaning in that direction just now. Then for the Aries moon, your do's are courage, decisions, and promotion, and your don'ts are conflict resolution, tasks that require patience, and sharp objects. So on this day of Jupiter, we will find that the moon and Jupiter's interests align very nicely today. They both want to get out there. They want to make discoveries. They want to overcome obstacles, and they want to heroically live to tell the tale and get the admiration that follows. So if there's a risk that you need to take, today is probably the best day of the week to take that particular plunge. Our tarot for the day is the Magician. He has the number one number on the major arcana. That represents the embodiment of the essence of the thing. So the Magician is the embodiment of the essence of magical workings itself. His keywords are wise, dexterous, attractive, creative, confident, amorous, well taken care of, outgoing, an engineer, programmer, videos back. Okay, strategic planner, in case you didn't get that the first time. Essentially, the magician really represents to me the concept of a true Renaissance man, someone who is multi-skilled, very well educated, has a mastery over their soul and their emotions, and someone who has really integrated every aspect of their soul, and they're charging forward in life with real purpose and direction. That's the vibe I get from the magician. And there is a magician within us all. Then the greatest alchemy that ever occurs is that which goes on within our own soul. So thinking about bringing yourself into better alignment with what you truly are, your building blocks, tailoring them to where they're going in the highest, best, most productive direction possible. That's kind of that really, not just kind of, that really is the counsel that I personally am feeling from this card. If you're feeling something else from that, I would really love to hear about it in the comments, because these energies, they all impact us in different ways. But if what I'm saying is resonating with you, this is your push from the universe. Today's Celtic Triad reads 3 things which will exalt a person: a mate dedicated and diligent, a master faithful, and safety. So there's no greater ally in life than a devoted spouse. If someone really loves you and they're working in harmony with you, they of course are going to raise you up. You are going to raise them up, and that's the recipe for a strong and healthy and happy marriage. And then a master faithful. And when we think of masters, we might think more so in terms of employers or clients or customers, depending upon the nature of our personal line of work. And if we have a reasonable and humane employer, that does make life considerably easier. If we have good relationships with clients and customers, to where we are giving them good value for money, we're giving them good service, and they're not coming at us, with unreasonable demands or anything else, it just creates a better dynamic with better give and take. And then as far as safety goes, a general and real sense of safety allows for greater enjoyment in life. This is why it matters, who your neighbors are, whether or not you have large populations that are inherently hostile to one another. Because if you have people who are forever at odds, and you have them, and you try to squish them all in the same place, of course you're going to have problems. This is one of the reasons why it is important to gather together with people of like mind. This isn't about locking yourself away in an echo chamber. It's not about avoiding points of view different from your own. It isn't about expressing adverse judgment upon people who have perhaps a different lifestyle or different philosophy from you. But it is recognizing where you are going to thrive and what kind of environment is required. And at the very basic is that you need to not have to be constantly looking over your shoulder all the time, expecting some kind of attack, whether it is physical, verbal, emotional, spiritually, or whatever. People need to gather together, like with like, just for purposes of thriving. Then for today's magical correspondences, they are centered on the theme of self-work. The color is white, the plant is the lotus, the animal is the butterfly, and the crystal is the quartz. Now, while white is the color of the day, according to my witch's calendar, it's also a very versatile color. White is the universal substitution. And then lotus, you always associate lotus with ideas of spiritual enlightenment and transformation. And then with animals, again, the butterfly, again, this is another common symbol of transformation, because of its going from caterpillar to butterfly. And then quartz, of course, again, just as versatile as the color white for magical intentions. So all of these things can work together to make changes where you feel like you want to. And the only reliable thing you actually have the power to alter is the state of your own character. Everything else requires a myriad of other circumstances in order to impose your will. And even when you're working on yourself, the work can be very difficult. It's ongoing. But if you want change, that really is the only place to begin. Now, for today's practice, you might burn a bit of patchouli incense just to clear up the air. Study the Hermetic principle of rhythm. This is all about patterns, cycles, repeating things. Just think about, how many different repeating cycles and patterns do you see? Think about, the human life cycle, the agricultural year, the astrological year, any kind of pattern that just is very consistent and ongoing. This is all representative of naturally occurring rhythm. So thinking about a little bit what that means, identifying where you are in various rhythms that impact you, and then perhaps adjusting your plans accordingly. And then today we are looking at the Witch's Pyramid of the North Wall. The North Wall is tied to the earth element, and it is all about material action and manifestation. It is the final point of energy buildup to where things are really beginning to happen and take place. And I came across an Aristotle quote on Twitter the other day, in which was it Aristotle? I might be misremembering that part, but now the video's back. The point of the quote is that the purpose of knowledge is really to take action. It's not about gathering knowledge in and of itself. It's not just about theory. Theory without action is really, I don't want to say a waste of time, because there's always the potential that someone might actually put their theories to the test and learn something real. But it is so incomplete. It's not a path that actually leads to anything productive if it just remains within your head, if it's just information gathering. So thinking about practical application, that really is ultimately the whole point. And really, when you think about it magically, manifestation is the whole point. Why are we messing around with these energies if not to create an effect? And we build up the mental energy, we build up the drive, we infuse the emotion to really give it a lot of juice, and all of it is meant to materialize. It's meant to be brought into being, into the actual world. It's all about manifestation. This would also be a good day just to tidy up your home office and also assemble your collection of jars for any spells you might be wanting to do for this season. And we have all kinds of different spell jars we might be doing. I found this one from the Starseed Witch. It showed up on Pinterest, and it has different ingredients for different intentions: prosperity, love, and so on and so forth. And you can get really creative, and you can use what you have on hand. You have so many options, and it's a really easy peasy thing to do. And with spell jars, there are glass jars available to us everywhere. From your spaghetti jars, to those little jars for garlic. Some salad dressings still come into glass jars. Never throw these things away if you can possibly help it, because these are spell materials and you never know when you might need them. So as long as you have a sensible place to store them, and you're not being completely overwhelmed with jars, you have a use for them. You can make use for them. And why not? This is getting to a time of year when we're all doing a lot of nitty gritty work. So that's probably also going to be incorporated into your own magical practice. So take a screenshot of this if it's of interest to you, and make sure you've got your jars. Handy dandy things. And then for today's journaling prompt, as you can see, I found us a cute little illustration of a kitchen witch. And do you yourself have a kitchen witch? How do you utilize it? Where do you place it? Is it something you particularly think about, or is it just like the kitchen mascot for you? What do you think of it? And if you don't have one, is a kitchen witch something you would like to have? Look into the lore of this, write about it. Maybe even make plans to make one of your own, especially if you're crafty, because why not? You can make it. If you have some kind of scrap material, you might have more at your disposal than what you realize, and then you can have your own kitchen witch, and she can bring luck into the kitchen. You can infuse magic and intention to her to even act as kind of a protective talisman of the kitchen. There's a lot of different ways you can utilize this particular tool, and again, why not? It would be fun. And that does it for today. Have an absolutely wonderful day. If you would care to, you are very welcome to follow me at Blackbird's Brew on X, or find the Blackbird Grimoire on YouTube and Rumble. And of course, you can visit me and a lot of other lovely practitioners at the Oak and Elder Witchery on Gilded. Link in the description to join. So I hope to hear from you soon in some form or fashion, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.